Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Romany, this is RhomanysRealm, and today we're going to be taking a look at this little puppy that I found on Amazon. This is a Moleskine art collection, so it's sketchbook paper, bullet notebook. Ooh, a bullet journal from Moleskine, I said. With sketchbook paper, I said. I have to try that, I said. And after I looked at it and said it was £17.50, I went, maybe not. And then last night I noticed that it dropped in price all of a sudden, and it was the same price as a sketchbook, and I thought, well, okay, if it's the same price as a sketchbook, that I'm willing to do for you guys. And here it is. I've already taken the plastic off because my studio lights just reflect off everything, but I haven't opened it yet. This is my first crack at it. So you'll know Moleskine by now, black cover, elastic on the back, Moleskine debossed on the bottom, the strip around the middle that tells you all about the paper. So this is 120 GM paper, £80, and it's dot grid. So it's dot grid sketchbook paper. So it's like the blue sketchbooks, but dot grid. I can't wait to see what this is like, if I'm honest. So let's take this off. What's this all about? Poster artwork, video or design on the Moleskine community. Strange things, origami page marker things in here. Oh, that's quite cool. Might have a go at that. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? So, as always, the front page, in case of loss, and what you're going to reward them with. And then the pointless page, in which it says bullet notebook. Presumably not calling it a bullet journal because of branding, I assume. So bullet notebook. It's got the personal data sheet, like you would normally have in the front of a diary. If you've ever had the diaries, you'll be familiar with this. Inspiring journeys, again, also in the front of the diaries. Contents, and the first thing they've got on page 149 is a pen test. So yeah, that's exactly what I do on the last page of my book, is do a pen test. And they've dedicated a page to pen testing. I love it. This doesn't feel like the sketchbook paper. It's not as thick, but it is a lot thicker than regular Moleskine. It's kind of halfway between the two. It's a bit strange, actually. Let me find my book here, because I have both types of paper in here. So obviously you can't feel it, can you? But I can flip test it for you and let you know what it sounds like. So you can hear that. Very flimsy. Most of you probably know what Moleskine paper is like. This one so quite a significant difference. In fact, this one feels like almost tissue paper compared to this. However, and this is, I believe this is £80, no, £60 paper. This is 80. Now the sketchbook paper is a lot thicker, I think. Let me just check. Make sure. Yes, this feels like cardstock. It's nowhere near as thick as it used to be. It used to feel like proper cardstock. Now it's just like really thick paper. But it's about 150 GSM. This is 120. And there is a significant difference. Yeah. I'm interested to see how this holds up, because it is definitely thicker than regular Moleskine paper. However, it's definitely not the regular sketchbook paper, even though it's called an art sketchbook. It's definitely part of the art collection. So this seems like a new weight of paper, unless I've missed something. So we've got page contents, step 1, pen test. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of index, which is, yeah, I think that's about right, probably, for most people. And then we're into dot grid. Slightly heavier paper. It's not obtrusive dot grid. Something I like about the Moleskines is that it's comparable to a pencil dot as opposed to black lines or blue lines everywhere. I don't like lines and dots to be distracting. These are a little bit distracting, but you're not going to be using those for most of it because nearly all of it is, well, all of it is dot grid paper. So you've got 148 numbered pages of dot grid paper. Very cool. And then at the back, you've got your 2 pages for pen testing and the useless page at the back. And then you've got, okay. We've got the usual pocket at the back, which we've come to expect, but you've also got this. This is dot grid on this side. And this side is the key page, which is kind of cool, actually, because it's got bullet codes, and it's also got colour codes. So you could have this open and use your bullet codes, or your colour codes, but you can also, I wish I could remember her name, I'm really sorry, you know me in names. One of the girls used to do colour coding, where she would have a colour code, and instead of writing down what everything was, she would colour the square on the side of the notebook. Well, these are lined up, so you could actually do that and just do your squares. They would basically be every other square, as far as I can tell from this. Looks like it's the same size squares to me. Let's check the dot grid. It looks like a 5mm to me. Yeah, 5mm dot grid. So it's quite a lot bigger than the Hobonichi, which I think is a 3mm. But 5mm is the thin or narrow ruled, so science paper. But it's the same as a regular graph paper. Ooh! 2 bookmarks for me to rip out. Fan-flipping-tastic. I'm liking this. Excellent. Actually, I quite like bookmarks in my bullet journals. It kind of annoys me when there isn't a bookmark in a bullet journal. I'm kind of excited to play with this and see how the paper holds up. I don't love sketching on dot paper. I would be happier if this was maybe dot grid on one side, plain on the other. I'm not loving the fact that there's no grid layout. I think they could have put like at least 1 or 2 grid pages that would allow you to put a calendar or something in. I mean, I know in a bullet journal you don't put a calendar grid style, but I know a lot of people enjoy that particular size. However, there is the printouts that you can get from the Moleskine website that you can put into your book anyway, so I guess they don't really need to do that. I'm impressed. Let's have a play on the pen test. Somebody will say, yeah, but what's the paper like? Whoa, but the paper! So let's give it a good old test with the basic Lamy Safari. This is my extra fine nib. I don't write with anything else, but I will use it the right way up. And I'm using waterproof sketch ink in it. So let's have a bit of a play. Let's do a quick line and a slow line and a dot grid with colour. This paper's really nice to write on, actually. And this is the Lamy EF and sketch ink in Thea. Okay, moment of truth. It's always the same with the Moleskine. Moleskine and my fountain pens, they just don't play nice. Come on, Moleskine, don't let me down. You know I love you, don't let me down. Ooh! Actually, apart from where I went really ham with the colouring in on that square, nothing. And I did go ham on that square. Oh, very minor ghosting. Very, very minor ghosting. But no bleed through except where I really dug into the paper. It didn't dry that square. It blotted over a tiny bit. So Just very tiny. Not much to worry about, but just very tiny. Let's try another fountain pen, because I'm curious now. This is also a fine pen, so quick, slow. Let's go ham. Colour, 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 colour. This is a no-name, extra fine, with diamine crimson. Ooh, I love that colour on this paper. That I do like that. That. Look at that colour on that paper. Oh. Okay. I felt that going through, so I'm pretty sure that bled. Oh, it didn't. It ghosts quite badly, but that one didn't bleed. I think it might have if I'd gone over it again. But you don't normally scribble, scribble, scribble like that in a tiny little box. That dried straight away. But it's a water-based ink, so this is a graphite-based ink like the Pentel, no, like the carbon ink. This one is obviously a regular water-based. Okay, so next test I'm going to do, because I'm a bit excited here, I'm going to grab my water brush, I'm going to bleed out this and see what happens. It's basically the same as you get with the sketch paper. It works okay, but it doesn't play properly. But it doesn't go through the paper. So, let's try. Quite enjoying this. I haven't enjoyed testing a Moleskine in quite some time because I'm so used to the paper. But this is completely different paper to anything I've used before. So, what colour should we use? I like this grey. So, let's add not much water to this one and do a watercolour swatch. And then this time I'll add quite a bit of water and we'll do more of a washy. It's behaving just like the regular sketchbook paper. So it goes slightly mottled with watercolour. And if you're used to using the Art Plus sketchbook, then you'll be used to that kind of effect. Let's see. It goes through, but it's no worse than a sketchbook. The Moleskine sketchbooks don't play nicely with watercolour, but they usually play okay with wet media. So let's grab a brush marker. This is one of the Ecoline brush ink markers. Let's try that one. It doesn't normally re-wet very well. Yeah, they don't re-wet on this paper, but I wasn't expecting it to because it doesn't on the sketchbook paper. So that behaved as expected. This did not. This was not supposed to fall off. There we go. Let's try. Obviously, Copics are going to bleed because they're alcohol markers. They bleed on everything except alcohol marker paper. However, let's give this a try. Let's see if it will go through the 2 pages. So that's 1 pass. That's 2 passes. And that's 3 passes. Oh, so 1 and 2 didn't, but the 3rd one did. So you can see very slightly, only very slightly though, it went through to the 2nd page. Obviously it bled through here, but it bled through really nicely actually, and it didn't feather. It didn't feather out. When you work on paper, sometimes you work on marker paper and it bleeds outside the line of what you were colouring, but that didn't happen. I'm pretty impressed actually. I don't know why I'm saying it like that because, you know, this is what happens with the re-inked stuff. That bleeds through too. So wet media that requires adding water, not a good idea. Ink, mostly okay as long as you don't go completely crazy with it. Copic, it'll bleed through one layer but not necessarily onto the following page. However, I would always say put a piece of paper underneath it. It does lie flat and it feels nice. It feels chunky. I don't know how they've made it. Oh, 148 pages. Well, 150 technically. On Amazon, it actually said 192, which is standard for the regular thin paper. But this one is 150. So you get 40 pages less, but it does look like it's art type paper. So for those of us who enjoy doing a little bit of colouring or sketching or urban sketching or whatever in our books, this could be a winner chicken dinner. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Let's try... oh, I've got some gouache here. Now, obviously, gouache you have to add water to normally, but this is the jelly gouache. So I'm just going to use my water brush without squeezing it. Ooh. Ooh, it likes gouache. Oh, it likes gouache a lot. Oh, it feels nice. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That'll be the medium I use in this sketchbook. Gouache. Plus, it'll cover over those annoying dots. Yes. I like it. And it doesn't go through to the other page because we didn't have to add any water to it. There we go. Gouache is the one for this. I mean, the water-based markers work as well, but gouache definitely. And of course, let's try my old favourite, good old faithful, my ballpoint pen. I'm going to use that to write on here what I used. So, watercolour. Copic, 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. Brush pen, Ecoline, plus water, Daniel Smith, plus water, and jelly gouache. No water. I think that's not bad, actually. I mean, it looks a bit of a mess on here, but remember, I do mixed media art, so I like to throw all sorts of things at it. I do think if you were using, say, Copics, and you were doing maybe a September page, and then you stuck something like the calendar printout on the back, so you would cover the show through, that would work. Or just using, you know, regular brush tip or bullet tip pens, I'm sure they would work just fine. Let me find my Pentel pocket brush. All of these are basically bound to work. So I've got a Posca marker. Let's try Posca. I'll just write with that one because you don't tend to colour in properly with Posca markers. I've got the Tombow Foudnoske. I can't do brush lettering, so I'm not going to try. And then I've got the Pentel pocket brush, and that is very, very light press. And then this is colouring properly, which is more like what you do if you were a brush pen user doing the faux calligraphy. So, no bleed, a little bit of ghosting with the Pentel Pocket. Again, that's a proper waterproof calligraphy ink. So it looks like the waterproof inks bleed through, but the diamine didn't bleed through except where I went ham on it. So, ooh, I'm looking forward to this. And the ballpoint, of course, feels really nice. It glides across the page as usual. I'm really looking forward to playing with this now. Oh, damn it. I've just started a new sketchbook and now I have this one. Maybe I'll use this as purely a bullet journal and see how I go. I don't know. Whatever I do with it is going to need a sticker, so we'll do that before we do anything else. And I hope that's given you a bit of an idea of the new Moleskine bullet notebook with art paper, but not the art sketch paper that we are used to. It's not as thick as that, but it's quite good. Yeah, I think that sums it up. It's not as thick as the sketchbook, but it's quite good anyway. If you were curious. Oh, it also does say on here, fibre tip pen or marker. It looks like a highlighter type thing. A fountain pen and a pencil. So obviously it was designed for people who keep a bullet journal but use a fountain pen. This makes me very happy. Yes. Okay, there you go. If you wish to go and find one, I will put a link down below in the description to my Amazon shop. So if you would like to purchase one through my Amazon affiliate link, it will not cost you anything, but it will give me a little bit of a kickback from Amazon, and that would be nice. Okay, thanks for joining me. See you again soon. Bye.